Bonjour, my love bugs. Ooh, don't look at my bathroom. Don't look at nothing in my house. Everything just looks horrible. Don't judge my life. I wanted to come to you guys and do like a update on my mental health, because as I'm looking at my upload history, I'm realizing I never really updated you guys, and the videos that I have been posting weren't necessarily about any updates on my life, other than my haircut. But even that, it wasn't a heart to heart, if you will. I wanted to kind of just reach out and let you guys know that I love all the encouraging words that you've left on my other video. It was beautiful. Thank you guys for understanding where I was coming from, for giving me encouraging words. And for those that are going through a similar situation right now or have been, just know you're not alone. I am feeling a total difference in my mental state, but I'm not out of the woods, clearly. Like there's still work to be done. But I wanted to kind of give you guys an update with that, let you guys know what I've been doing to keep my stress levels down. I realized that my anxiety was had a lot to do with a lot that was going on. Honestly, I feel like my chest pains, my stress, everything, my anxiety just was shooting up so high. And I've never been that anxious really before. I think I've been anxious once, but I was like in high school and I saw my crush and I wasn't expecting him to walk so close to me. Freaked me out. Other than that, I'd never been that anxious, so I really didn't know what to expect. I don't know. But I had a lot of footage that I recorded during 2020, but I just never put it up. And I didn't because, one, I really didn't feel like editing. I wasn't in the mind space to edit. It's very tedious. And with my anxiety, I just felt, I don't know, I felt rushed. It feels like if I'm sitting still, I need to be doing something. Even if I'm actually doing something, I need to be doing something else. Like I have a pressure to multitask everything in my life, which is not helpful and it's not realistic. You can't do everything and then something else. If you're gonna do something, do something. Just do that one thing, focus on one thing, and I'm not focusing. So I couldn't do that. Some of the footage got real emotional. Like I'll be talking about something and then I'm crying the next minute. But it wasn't like I was crying about something that something I was talking about. Like, well, no, I was crying about something I was talking about, but like the conversation got real therapy-ish. Like, don't get me wrong, I want to be as transparent with y'all as possible, but sometimes I don't think y'all want to see me cry every video. And I know some people that I know personally told me, I don't want to see you cry. Like it's hard for people to watch. But I don't know, like y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. Like I would love to be transparent and show y'all everything, but do y'all want to see me cry? Like, and they weren't all like bad tears, like negative thoughts or anything like that. Some of them were positive tears, but I was like, I cry a lot. I am a water bag. The older I get, I cry for everything. That's just me. Especially now, I'm so grateful for a lot of things in my life and what God has brought me through. I'll sit here and cry just cause I'm grateful. I'm gonna cry. So I didn't want to put it up for that. And then I didn't, when I was watching some of the footage back, I didn't feel like I was giving 100% myself. Like you could tell the energy level of my old videos to some of the new content that I put up within the past year or two. The energy don't even feel the same. Like it doesn't feel like I'm sitting in front of the camera. It's like I'm watching somebody else. Sometimes I actually go back and watch my videos to figure out, like it's kind of like to see me. It really was something like I chronologized to see like where I came from as far as beauty and hair and stuff like that up to this point. And I don't feel like myself. Sorry, my hand got tired. But I wasn't feeling like me in the past 2 years, and on video it was very apparent. So I just wasn't comfortable putting up videos, honestly. As a matter of fact, this is what this video is gonna be. See, I kind of just wanted to talk to y'all, but now I think I want to do some tips on how to calm yourself down, how to calm down your anxieties, because that's what I've been learning this year. Number one, breathe. If you're like me and you're a constant thinker, I got a Fitbit. The sole purpose for my Fitbit, straight up, was to check my heart rate. Because I felt like my heart was beating up and slowing down, beating up and slowing down. I was overthinking. It wasn't even like that. It wasn't even happening. And I think that was what led me to go to the hospital so many times, and I felt like I couldn't breathe. I probably couldn't. I was having whole anxiety attacks and not realizing what they were, thinking I was dying and I wasn't. So I actually keep this Fitbit on for a majority of the day, and I sleep with it so I can track my sleep to see exactly how my heart rate is, check how my sleeping patterns are, to get that to be better, because if I don't get adequate sleep, my brain isn't resting, I'm not well rested, my mind isn't taking a break, my body isn't taking a break. So I need to make sure that I was sleeping well as well. So yeah, if you overthink, tracking your heart rate, Fitbit, any type of fitness tracker, watch is really good, because you have it on you. You can actually monitor your heart rate through there if you feel something is wrong. Also, Fitbit was doing a study recently where they are monitoring like heartbeat irregularities. And they were like, okay, we'll let you know if we see anything in your heart rate. I never got an alert about that. So I feel a lot more confident that my heart is okay. Still, if you do feel, if you feel like something is wrong, go to the doctor, cardiologist especially, do what you gotta do. But for me, I needed to calm down. They actually also have a relaxed setting on here where you can actually take like 2-minute to 5-minute meditation times, and it'll like give you the rate on which you want to breathe in, breathe out. It's kind of cool. I really love it. I don't use it much, I'm not gonna lie, because then I get anxious about keeping up with that. That's a whole nother thing. Anywho, number 2 is physical activity. I started to walk in the park a lot. During the springtime, I started walking in the park, and I walked in the park every day. Before daylight savings time, I would get off work at 6, come home, change my clothes really quick, go to the park, walk like 3.5 miles, and come home. If I'm walking on a day off, I'll get out there early so I can walk for probably 2 hours, depending on what I'm listening to. I'll get to that too. I just like to be outside in nature. Sometimes you have to unplug yourself from social media, from the outside world, and walking in the park really does that. You kind of just look around at nature, kind of just separate yourself from that. Walking a lot made me a lot more fit. One, I ended up getting the booty that I always wanted. My booty is thick. I can't show y'all now because I ain't got no pants on, but my booty was nice. Like, I didn't notice how good the booty was looking until I put on my work pants, and I was like, girl, yeah. So now I walk for my booty. I don't even walk. I do walk for me because it does help me. Like, sometimes I just gotta be outside, but I walk for this booty. This booty though, she fine. You heard that. Sorry, hands got tired. Okay, so for me, like I said, I like to do physical activity, so I like to walk. Everybody's different. Some people don't like to walk. They'd rather go work out in the gym, lift some weights, swim. Whatever you like to do, do that. That way that you're able to move your body, like do something else. Because with anxiety, especially how I was feeling, I kept feeling like something was wrong with my chest. I kept feeling like something was wrong with how I was breathing, because my body was no longer in auto mode. It was in manual. I had to literally breathe for myself because I was forgetting to just let it be. And when I'm doing that, walking or anything like that, I'm just focusing on other things other than my actual body. Even though I'm doing the physical activity, I'm just doing it, just enjoying what I'm looking at. So that's why I like going to parks so I can see what's going on around me. I'm sorry, guys. New hair. How you like? How you like? So let's go into what I listen to. I'm late. Let's just put it out there. I am late. I started listening to Afro beats around March, April time. I knew nothing really about Afro beats. I knew about soca music because I'm from Miami, so you hear it a lot, but I knew nothing about Afro beats. Why the hell y'all ain't tell me? Bruh, been jamming. I love music. Music is my heart. Music is life. And when I find new music to listen to, it gets like it gives me a boost in energy. It gives me a boost in happiness. I just feel good. So I love listening to Afro beats because it just makes me want to dance, and it makes me feel good. Sometimes I'm just in here dancing and having a good time, like by myself. But find some music that is different. Try to find something else to listen to. Try to change. Find something new to put into your everyday routine. Like I said, for me, it's Afro beats. I also start to listen to audiobooks. I prefer listening to audiobooks like autobiographies. I like to hear people's stories in their own words, in their own voice. So I've been listening to a lot of those, some are very funny, some are interesting. But what I also love about them too is I can hear my story and the story of these well-known celebrities. And no, you don't need a celebrity to validate what you're going through. But sometimes it feels good to know that somebody that is successful has gone through something similar to what you went through, and they pushed through it. No, it wasn't easy, but they did it. And it means a lot to me, honestly. I'll give you 3 of my favorite books. I love Trevor Noah's Born a Crime is what his book is called. I've listened to that audiobook 3 times. It's hilarious. It's very emotional. It's deep. I respect Trevor Noah. I've always liked Trevor Noah, but his story makes you really love him and respect the journey. Charlemagne's books, Black Privilege, and what's the other one? Eyes Playing Tricks on Me? No, it's not. I'm gonna put all the correct titles. I feel like I'm messing them all up because I don't see the book physically. I forget titles. But both of his books were really good because he talked a lot about, in the first book, he talked about himself, how he grew up and everything. And he kind of touched bases a little bit on his anxiety and depressions. The second book, he really goes into his anxiety issues. And literally it was like he was describing my anxiety verbatim, how I couldn't find the words to explain it, and he had it. And listening to him talk about it is what kind of not pushed me, but refueled me to find a therapist, because you can't go through this alone. It is hard, I'm not gonna lie. Trying to find a therapist is like the hardest thing to do, and we'll get back to this conversation, but it did fuel that want to get a therapist. Another book that I really like, there's so many. I'm gonna go with Rabbit. It's from Miss Pat. She is a comedian. She's a comedian. She's from Atlanta. I say Miss Pat's story because Miss Pat really came from the ground up and made something for herself. Her story, she has some funny elements in her story, but when you hear it in her words, it's hard to believe that was somebody's life. And bro, if that doesn't give somebody the motivation to keep going, she did for herself what nobody else could do for her. She broke a generational curse. I've listened to that book about 2 to 3 times as well. Charlamagne's books as well. Like, I've listened to the first one twice, the second one twice. I want to listen to it again because I feel like every time I hear it, there's something else that I hear that I didn't hear the first time that I think I needed to hear. But audiobooks really helps. Some people, there's different genres out there. You can listen to whatever you like. Sometimes I actually like to read. And on that, actually pick up a real book. So this is Everything is Effed, a book about hope. I have the other one, which is The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. I read that and it's very helpful. Stop giving a fuck. When you really stop, it really does make a difference. Please read that book, y'all. I don't care who you are, what walk of life you come from. Pick that book up and read it. So I haven't started this one yet, but I am going to start this one. I'm really excited for it because he's very blunt in the delivery, and I am very receptive to blunt constructive criticism. Constructive is the key word here. Don't just say some shit and think that that's gonna make somebody do something. Like, it don't. Whatever. I'm sorry, because people love to talk shit, but you need to do this. Nah, that ain't. Don't get me started. Anywho, those are really good. Just reading a book takes you from your reality somewhere else. Somewhere else is not here, so you don't have to think about what you got going on for however long you're reading. What I recommend doing is carve out a power hour time for yourself. So what I'll do is after, well, now because it's cold, I really don't walk after work. So I'll come home, take a shower, kind of eat my food, chill out a little bit, and then I'll set an hour timer on my stopwatch for my phone, and I'll read for an hour or whatever I want my power hour to be. But take that time just to read something. Turn off your electronics and just get lost in something else. It's not technology if you can. That's what I enjoy doing. But the power hour really works because after a month, you're kind of used to doing that, whatever you're doing in that power hour. So I'm used to reading. I want to put my nose in a book. I used to read at least, I think the highest number of books I read in a year was 49. I think I was a senior in high school or a junior. It was one of those. That's the last time I actually read books all the time. I literally always had my nose in a book. In class, before class, on the bus, I'm reading. That's all I want to do. So I really want to get back into that because I loved reading. I felt like I had a broader vocabulary than everybody around me because I was always in a book. I've also started to read the whole Harry Potter series because I have it, never read it. I love the movies, and there's details in the movies that are only in the books that you have to read that to understand. So I need to go back and read the books. If you love Harry Potter that much, you will do it. I'm on book number 3. It's a lot of stuff that now makes sense. Everything makes sense. Every little detail in there was telling you about the book, and now I see it. Reading is great. Finding a therapist. Y'all, it's not easy. It is not easy. Finding a therapist makes you more anxious, even though you're trying to find a therapist to soothe the anxiety. Let me not say soothe, because it sounds like you're trying to coddle. Trying to get rid of it. But it is so nerve-wracking of an experience to do. And like I said, like I've been looking for a therapist, I mean, right after, like when I was going through my chest pains and all that, November, December of last year, I was trying to find a therapist. But I got so overwhelmed with trying to find a therapist. That's not right for me. The prices aren't right for me. This person, are they even worth it? I got so overwhelmed, I just was like, fuck it. Didn't even look for anybody, whatever, let it go. Listening to Charlamagne's book, and Dr. Ish is talking about, you know, certain things, and I'm like, he's saying things and I'm like, oh my gosh, that sounds right. Like, I don't know, it makes you, I feel like therapists will say things in a way that you've never said them to yourself. Not that you aren't capable, but you just never phrased it that way. And it makes you think of a different thought. Or you never thought about it in this age where you are right now in this mindset, and you never thought about something. So Dr. Ish really like made me like want to. And then there was a section where Charlamagne talked about the therapist he was looking for, about how he didn't want to have a black therapist because he wanted someone who didn't live the same lifestyle as him, or come from the same walk of life, sorry. And I thought about it. I'm like, that's not possible for me. I want someone that comes from the same walk of life as me, because part of my stress and anxiety in this age has been just the fact that I'm a black woman. You get to a point in your life where you realize what being a black woman means, and it doesn't come with a certain age. Like, it will be a point where you'll stop and be like, this is what it means to be a black woman. For me, I was unhappy at home. I felt anxious. Every time I walked in the door, it was like I had to just stop, take a deep breath. I would like to stay at work because I just didn't want to go home, because I knew once I went home, I'm going to argue. Something's going to go down. I'm going to argue, or I'm just smoking weed all day and night and not doing anything productive, which is making me hate me. So I'm just like, I'm all effed up there. Work, if I'm not, you know, hey, how you doing? What's up? Da, 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 da. If Brady ain't in that mood, I have an attitude if I'm just sitting there, which pissed me off, because it wasn't just the Caucasian people saying this. This was people who were black women. Like, are you okay? I gotta be mad because I don't want to, I'm just saying, you know, good morning. I literally will walk in the door and just sometimes just want to do my work. I ain't got nothing to say. Like, I don't have a story to tell y'all today. I don't have anything to say today. I don't want to. And I think it's messed up that it's like you're waiting for a black woman to do that. And if she don't, she got an attitude. If I'm assertive, I got an attitude. And it's just always how it's been for me at work. So I usually don't say anything. I just keep quiet, do what I need to do, and get out. And at that time, I felt so overwhelmed. I just wanted to cry all the time. And I'm like, this is what it means to be a black woman. You have to be on at all times for everybody else around you, and you can't even be there for yourself. Like, you're strong in a black household. Typically, majority of black households, it's run by a matriarch. The woman is the backbone. If the woman falls apart, the whole thing is just to shit. And I felt like that's what was happening with me. I had to be on 24 hours of the day. I have to show up. I have to give 100% to everybody and everything around me. But I had nobody to give me that. Nobody. And I'm like, this is what it means to be a black woman. There's a silent understanding that all black women know what it feels like to have all this weight on your shoulder and your chest. And I think that's where I was at the point of no return. Like, if you're like in a box full of water and my nose was the last thing that was up above. I think that's where I was when my chest pain started to happen. So I wanted a black therapist because I knew they would be able to understand. I wanted a woman because a woman would understand. A black man does not understand that. You can explain it. He can kind of understand a little bit because he can compare it to seeing his mom. But to feel that pain, it's a whole different type. And if y'all feel what I'm talking about, sound off in the comments. Let me know if you feel the same way, because boy, I know I'm not alone. I mean, I literally, to the point where I knew I wanted to like do a forum or something about this subject, because it's deep on my heart. But I listened to Charlamagne's book. I'm at work. I was like, oh, let me try it again. I searched for therapists. I literally did the same search I did before. And I was like, let me just check every single page. On the first page, I think it was a third option, I would never forget, because I found this website, small business, one woman, and it comes up, and I'm like, I don't want to tell y'all her name. I'm gonna be real. I'm very selfish about my therapist. I'm very selfish about her. If you find her, cool, but if not, I ain't gonna tell you. Cause I want her to get booked up. Don't do me like that. So how I found my therapist, I'm looking and her information comes up, and I click on the website, I'm looking around, I'm like, okay, cool, quaint little team. And I'm looking, and she does soul work, like where she talks about like the energies, which I'm very big on because I'm an empath, which I've always known, but trying to get more in touch with it and control it. Like I had been controlling it in the past, but not really knowing I was controlling it. A thing. But it was like I don't know, just from looking at her website, I knew she was going to be different. I don't know how to explain that, but it was a feeling. I was like, all right, I'm going to set up a 30-minute consultation talk. And it felt good. I talked to her, and for the first time talking to a therapist ever, she heard me. That meant the world to me, especially at that time. After that conversation, I was just on top of the world. Like, I felt good. I just wanted to do stuff. Like, I felt so motivated to be this again. I wanted to film something. I love her. Months later, I am in a better place. Like she taught me part therapy, that there are parts in me that are still dealing with, you know, traumatizing parts of my life. Might have been traumatizing at the time for me, but parts of neglect when I felt, they're still there. I just never dealt with the issue, which is normally what I do. I'll feel hurt and I'll be like, all right, forget it, and I'll do something else. But eventually, you lose space in your body to store all those undealt with emotions, and they come out. And that's what's been happening with me. So I've listened to those parts of myself. I listen to them. So definitely get a therapist. That's somebody that you can talk out. Because you can talk to your friends, yeah, but they know you. And even though they may not seem like it, they are judging you. And there's certain situations where you don't want to tell them because you do feel a little ashamed. Like you'll tell them the story, but you'll leave out a part. But you need that part. My therapist, I'm gonna tell her everything. She don't know me, like she doesn't know me outside of work. She knows me like this. You know what I'm saying? So telling her things sometimes, and she's not gonna judge me about it. She's just gonna be like, so let's figure out why you did that. What part of you needed that? What were you trying to get from the situation? Things like that I don't think about. Also, just kind of dancing to music in your house. I kind of talked about it when I talked about Afro beats, but when you're in your house, just dance in the mirror. Look at yourself and love yourself. Sometimes we don't look at ourselves and just look at us. You are the bomb. Like, throw those daily affirmations out at yourself. Look at you and be like, I look good. Honey, I tell myself all the time, I look good. Sometimes I have to look at myself. I look at old pictures and be like, girl, you came from that to this. The glow up is real. And on top of that, I am 30. I'm about to be 31 years old in 2021. Your girl looks like, well, I'm 21, 22. I look good. I look good. Thank God for that. I am so happy. There's people who want to not look like me, but you know what I'm saying. So be thankful for what you have. Give yourself daily pick-me-ups because you deserve it. You need it for the soul. Be direct with what you want with life and speak it into existence. Be very careful about what you say over your life because you will manifest it. I know, I've done it. It's crazy because I'll be like, ooh, I don't need to say that or think that because that's gonna happen. And it does happen exactly how I said it. Don't think that way. Think all positives. Think all positives. That's all we're doing. All we're doing. With depression and anxiety, it's like a roller coaster type of thing for me. It'll be an up thing and then a down, up and then down. My thing is I feel good right now and I want to put this so that when I watch this back, I see myself. I see how good I was and that I can be because I know I've done it before. I can still do it again. You have to remind yourself what you went through to know you can do it again. You've done that. This ain't nothing compared to the hard part. You did that. I came from 94 pounds. I was so skinny. My pants did not fit. My sweatpants did not stay up. I had to wear a belt so tight around me to work. I looked sick. I saw a video recording of myself during that time, and my face, I looked sick. I thought something, like, if I didn't know me, I would think that something was wrong with me. Like, I mean, I had like a serious disease. It was crazy. But for me to go from that to this, baby girl, God brought me through it. He brought me through a lot. He could do a lot for you. So I'm gonna end it on this. We always pray that God will get us through a situation. But you know that God is stronger than that. Why don't you stop praying that God see you through a situation and pray that he can remove it? Just remove it. Keep that in mind. On that note, I love y'all. I thank y'all for all the support, and you got this. No matter what you're going through, you got this. See y'all later.